Okay. Just came from a meeting with all the representatives of the different departments for the city of Chicago that are going to be part of and are part of our coordinated and comprehensive response to this snow, not just today, but tomorrow and also the next day. And making sure that the city of Chicago, we have a unified, uniform, and unyielding response to the snow. Now, I think everybody knows that we are getting more snow today, tomorrow, and Sunday than we have normally gotten in the last 2 winters in any one period of time. Now, the good news is on our meeting, and I want everybody to know that's here, they'll have different speakers, but we have Streets and Sanitation, Office of Emergency Management, Chicago Public Schools, Aviation, CTA, Department of Family Services, Public Health, Buildings, Fire Department, Water Department, CDOT, Transportation, People's Gas, ComEd, Fleet Facilities, OEMC, and also the National Weather Service. So we had a meeting to make sure, and everybody reported about where they were, what their response was, what they were seeing at this point in the effort. Again, I want to repeat that this is for the city of Chicago. While we have had other weather patterns, other winters, other snow dumps in major ways in recent memory, the last 2 winters are different. This is a different weather pattern. And again, there will be intervals in this process that will allow us to make even greater progress. But I want to make sure, top priority, people safety, whether that's on the streets and making sure the streets are plowed and passable, to whether that's homeless folks and making sure that they are from the family services and our warming centers. They know they're available, and we have a coordinated response not only from us, but also from Catholic Charities. Whether it's also to our parents who kids are out of school today, but they should know our libraries are open throughout the city of Chicago. And that if at a certain point you want to make sure that the kids have access to something else to do besides being at home, Chicago's public libraries, 80 of them across the city throughout the neighborhoods, are also going to be open. But we have a coordinated response at every level. We're fortunate as a city that we have this facility to bring not only all public agencies together, but also our utilities and other entities together to make sure that it's a coordinated and comprehensive in its response to different elements as the way they affect. Number one goal, safety. At every level we measure it, to making sure that the people of the city of Chicago, whether that's young kids, homeless, elderly, sick, commuters, in every capacity, we are responding and ensuring that people are able to handle this weather. The city of Chicago will handle this weather. Now, I do want to say, and I want to thank, as I thanked all the department heads and discussed not only this meeting, some individually early in the morning this morning, to making sure that the city is continuing to meet the weather and the weather patterns head on. I'm going to call on individuals to come up and respond on what they're doing so you have a report, and also to make sure the public knows what they need to do. Now, in that effort, I also want to say, while we have each of the responses here, I want people to know we've made changes also. And one of the things that we saw, years ago, we put a snowplow tracker on our snowplows. We also made an adjustment so you could track where it was and where it was headed. And so again, it's all the information, making sure the public knows what's happening, what are the expectations. We not only have a pattern now of snow, we have a pattern coming later this evening. We also then have a break and then pattern coming later. So our goal is to make sure the public knows what's happening, what's the city's response. In the end of the day, everybody's done this across the city of Chicago, and I want to thank them ahead of time. They've done it in the past. If you have an elderly neighbor, please take the time to check on them. If you have somebody sick, not elderly, please take the time to check on them. And if you need help, there's 311-911. We have always done this as a city. I want us to continue today, tomorrow, Sunday, throughout, responding, taking care of not only yourself and your family members, but checking on your neighbors. It's something we do. We do it as Sixth Sense. We're going to continue to do that. I do want to, again, thank all those that have ahead of time, and also all the city workers in all these different departments who have all been, not just here this morning, but their staffs have been working through the night to make sure that people can either get to work or have the resources if somebody was sick, if something happened from a utility standpoint or water element, that we're able to have a coordinated response from the city of Chicago. And their employees have been working tirelessly, not only as it started yesterday around 6 through the morning from midnight forward, and continuing that effort, and then using the breaks between the snow patterns to make sure we're making the progress we need to make so the city streets stay plowed and passable, but also all the responses we have to do on a human level, that we're there as a city and responding in a comprehensive and a coordinated fashion. And I want to thank them ahead of time, and thank also all of you for your role in making sure that the public has the information they need to make the plans and adjustments they need to make to go about their day, not only today, tomorrow, through the weekend, but also starting work on Monday. So with that, I'm going to call on Alicia, who's been runs OEMC and coordinated effort for the city of Chicago, and then I'll be calling on each department head this way. Alicia will go first. John Tully from Streets and Sanitation, responsible for the plowing of the streets in that effort. Ms. McDade from Chicago Public Schools, so parents and teachers know what our plans are going forward. Ms. Corinne Sheridan from CDA, Donald Bonds from CTA, and Joel Mitchell from Family Support Services. And then we'll be back up. Alicia?
Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor mentioned, we start tracking this before the weather system ever comes in. For the last 2 days, we've been preparing for this weather system and watching as it comes through. We do have a unified and coordinated response to this, as you can see by the people standing to our left and the right. We're here because this looks like it's going to be a substantial snowfall for this period. And we want to talk about the fact that safety in the city of Chicago is still our paramount or our #1 priority as we go through this snow season. We'd also like to ask our residents that you're part of the solution here. Please be prepared. Make sure that you take care of your own safety. If you're going out, make sure that you have the appropriate, have a warm jacket in the car, things of that nature. Many of our departments that we mentioned before are standing behind us and have been out all night long, to include Streets and Sand, many others, 911, 311 operators. We've plussed up the number of 311 operators. If you're in doubt and you know of somebody who is elderly and needs to be checked on, or someone with disabilities, please contact 311. In addition, if you are without heat, water, or you want to simply check on a loved one, we'd ask that you contact 311. We've plussed up the number of individuals that are there, and they're prepared to answer your phone calls. In addition, remember that not only is it the right thing to shovel your street, your walkways, but it's also the law. So we'd encourage you to do that. And if you see a hydrant that's being covered, if you would please help with shoveling around those hydrants in case we should have some type of a fire. Again, if you would like to have notifications sent to your mobile device, we do have an app for that. It's called Notify Chicago, that's all one word, .org. I will now be followed by the Commissioner for Streets and Sanitation, John Tully.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the citizens for their patience. I think I said this yesterday, but this is a 4-day event, and it's been challenging at times, but together we're going to get through this. I want to thank all the city departments for this coordinated effort, and the mayor has assured that anything that we need to get this done and keep the streets safe has been provided to our department as well as the rest. So this is where we're at. We began the program at 2 p.m. yesterday. Between 2 p.m. and this morning, approximately 6 to 7 inches of snow have fallen on the city. We expect the snow to lighten up, although there will be some remaining snow for the rest of this afternoon, okay? It's going to be between 1 to 3 inches with the heavier amounts falling further south in the city. We'll have a period of dry time, and then again tonight, we'll have another system pass through approximately 11 o'clock, and that'll run through the morning hours tomorrow, where another 1 to 3 inches could fall. And then we're going to have another system move through come Saturday night, approximately 1 a.m. In the morning, and run through 9 a.m. on Sunday morning, which is going to produce another 1 to 3 inches. So the duration of this program makes it very challenging, a big challenge for us, but we're up to that task. We have a lot of experienced workers, and I really, we have, right now we have over 300 pieces of salt spreading equipment that we've had dispatched since 10 o'clock last night. The other thing I want to tell the residents is that all the refuse will be picked up today. There may be some recycling that will be picked up on Saturday morning. So everything's going to be taken care of on the Streets and Sanitation Department side. So I just ask for patience, and I want to thank all the departments again for helping us out with this effort.
All right, I'm going to hear from Ms. McDade from CPS.
Good morning. As you know, all CPS classes are canceled for this morning. Student safety is our first priority. So once it became apparent that the weather conditions could create dangerous situations for students traveling to and from school, the decision was made to cancel classes for today. However, all school buildings are open this morning and staffed by school-based administrators in the event that a student should show up to school today. Additionally, to ensure that all students receive the required number of instructional minutes for the year, we will make up this school day at the end of the school year. Right now, the focus is on preparing to receive students and teachers on Monday. All staff are working diligently to remove snow from school grounds, and we fully anticipate that we will be back to normal operating hours to receive students and teachers on Monday. As additional information becomes available, we'll be sure to keep all families and staff members updated throughout the day. I will now turn over to Kieran Sheridan, our Chief Operating Officer for the Chicago Department of Aviation.
Good morning. Today we want to assure the traveling public that Chicago's airports are well prepared to manage this snowfall. Between yesterday's snowfall and today, with more forecasted over the weekend, we're in it for the long haul. Since yesterday's snowfall began, we've had 280 heavy snow equipment operators on the airfields. That's both Midway and O'Hare, working around the clock through the night last night. And I'm pleased to report I came from the airport this morning from O'Hare, and things were running well. Today, as you may have heard, the airlines have proactively cancelled more than 700 flights at O'Hare and approximately 250 at Midway. Of course, this allows them to gear up quicker after the snow. Currently, delays at O'Hare are between 30 and 45 minutes, and at Midway, approximately 15 minutes. Safety, as the Mayor pointed out, of course, in aviation is our #1 priority. We have this season invested in equipment both at O'Hare and Midway, bringing on new modern equipment in order to clean the runways and open them safely for both arrivals and departures. For those traveling today, we would like to encourage you to take plenty of time to get to the airport. In order to get the best information, you really should contact your airline. That's the best source of information to get information on departures. We'd also recommend that you arrive, of course, 2 hours prior to a domestic flight and 3 hours prior to international. Thank you. I'm going to introduce Donald Bonds. Okay.
Donald Bonds from the CTA.
Good morning. I'm pleased to report that so far overall service is going well. We've been able to maintain normal service and just a handful of minor delays this morning. That said, this weather isn't over. We're prepared for the long haul over the weekend and any kind of weather that CTA come in contact with. CTA's #1 goal is always to ensure passengers get their destination safely and as close to schedule as possible. CTA has a strong record of operating safe and efficient efficiently during even the toughest winter conditions. With extensive experience with maintaining service through ice, snowstorms, sub-zero temperatures, CTA has comprehensive strategies, procedures, and contingency plans to continue to maintain service. To keep our trains moving, we have equipped all rail cars with sleet scrapers, snow plows, blades that are lowered to keep the electrified third rail cleared of snow, sleet, and ice. Many of our rail cars are also fitted with special equipment that is to distribute de-icer fluid onto the third rail before the heavy snowfall to keep ice from building up and interfering with the train's power source. We are deploying diesel-powered snow fighters to clear our yards. We're also turning on track switch heaters to prevent service disruptions. We have also taken a number of steps to ensure our 1,800 buses are able to provide service. Before the winter begins, our fleet undergoes a thorough inspection process to prepare for cold and snow. This includes checking heaters, engine thermostats, batteries, tires, and more so that the buses keep running and are warm inside for our riders. Also, we are working closely with CDOT and Streets and Sand to gauge road conditions and implement necessary reroutes. On days like today, when we experience heavy snowfall, our Snow Command team is prepared to clear bus garages, rail yards quickly and efficiently as employees salt bus terminals, turnarounds, garages, and park and ride locations. And we have continued to coordinate closely with OEMC, other city departments to make sure our trains and buses are able to transport passengers. On days like this, we recommend to our customers that they check our website at transitchicago.com for service alerts, and if they haven't already signed up for email or text alerts, they can customize to their routes to ensure they can check their train times and bus times. We will continue to work with the departments and represent here today to provide dependable service to our customers. Thank you.
We're now going to ask Joel Mitchell from Family Services to respond.
Good morning. DFSS operates Chicago's main warming centers during regular weekday business hours when temperatures fall below freezing. There are 6 regional community service centers operated by DFSS that double as warming centers, but they also provide other critical services to residents who use them. These community service centers are open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. One of our facilities, our Garfield Community Service Center located at 10 South Kedzie, is open on a 24-hour basis to connect families and residents to emergency shelters. We also have 21 senior service centers citywide that serve as warming centers during regular business hours for the exclusive use for Chicago seniors. On the weekends or during holidays when our facilities aren't open, there is still a network of city facilities such as police stations, libraries, Park District facilities that are available to residents requesting warming centers. Our 311 operators have all of this information at any given time. So 311 is always the best number to call to find out about the closest warming center nearest you. We also work with service providers during extreme weather conditions to look out for any problems while delivering these services. If any of our residents, particularly our seniors, appear to be in distress or in need of assistance, our providers know how to promptly notify us so that we can quickly follow up and provide them with assistance that they require. In addition, the city performs our well-being checks when requested. We also engage homeless residents and encourage them to seek shelter. We are here to assist residents. The easiest way, again, to get this assistance is to call 311 at any time, day or night. If you need to warm up, if you need a warming center, if you need to secure a shelter or arrange transportation to a warming center or shelter, again, we ask that you please call 311 where all of this information is readily available. Thank you.
I'm going to make one more comment, take 1 or 2 questions so we can all get back to work. I think while we talked about safety and health and well-being, we talked about checking on elderly, those who are sick or neighbors, and also making sure both public transportation, the roads are cleared in every capacity, and all the city services are here, and there's more departments here than actually spoke. I also do want to, I wouldn't say it's a shout out so much as remind people who plan on shoveling to also do it, but take it easy. If you're not feeling up to it, you also have to take precautions and necessary steps for your own health, let alone checking on everybody else in the neighborhood. We all know, we've read stories before from past snows where somebody, for whatever reason, is not in the best of health for doing that. So pace yourself. Again, safety is our #1 concern. Second, this is a coordinated and comprehensive response, and we're going to all be on 24/7 to get the city through what's the weather that we have this weekend. Again, we can have a question for anybody up here sometime. Derek?
Mayor, is it fair to say that the city dodged a bit of a bullet, that this could have been worse? And do you have any second thoughts about closing schools?
Well, first of all, let me say this. The young man I met this morning at breakfast from the school, who was having breakfast with the parents, he was really happy about the decision. So I got one resident happy. No, I don't. Look, you always go through a judgment. Other people have also closed schools. Now, we're not the only school district. So you have to make a question about safety. Schools makes that judgment. They make the recommendation. It's their call. And at the end of the day, when you look at it on a Friday, they made not just Chicago Public Schools, other school districts have done this. If safety is your primary concern, you evaluate all the other options. And again, I think it's important to note what Ms. McDade said. There are people at the school if for whatever reason somebody does show up. That said, it's a single day off. We're going to make it up in the school year. I said earlier, but so let me repeat, having had, my kids are older now, but I know what it means when they're all home. Chicago Public Libraries are open. And if I'm not mistaken, they'll be able to have snacks if they need it there as well. So I don't regret the decision. As you probably know, Derek, there have been snow days prior to 2018. And we have, as a city, handled them. All of us experienced snow days. I know what I did, and we're going to leave that behind us, okay, on a snow day. That said, other parts of the city are open, and it's also repeated, school will be open on Monday. But the other, when you say dodge a bullet, look, the last 2 winters haven't been heavy from a weather side. This is more reflective of what we kind of think about when we have in our mind's eye, what does a Chicago winter look like? The good news is we're tried and tested here. And everybody here didn't just show up today to figure out how to respond to this. We're tried and tested as a system. We're up to it, and every person, whether you're working streets and sanitation, plowing streets, public health, the utilities, water, fire department, in every way, everybody's ensuring that people are safe. And that means from public transportation to the roads, to your wellness check-ins, to making sure that the fire hydrants are cleared in case, God forbid, something bad happens. So I think we're there. We're gonna, but I think what's different is usually, Derek, some of these things, and this is to everybody, it's a snow dump, and it's done. This is coming, stopping, coming, stopping, coming, and everybody's gonna be working all the way through to make sure that people are safe.
I want to double check my math. Is it 3 to 9 inches expected through Sunday, or 2 to 6?
So far, we've...
No, make them go through it. It's a, you know, we're not going to, you got to pay attention. You know, what is this? U.S. history for 200 or something like that? Go ahead. Go ahead.
So far, we've had 6 to 7 inches. And as I said, between noon and 5 today, we could have another 1 to 3 inches. So the higher amounts towards the south. Tonight's system can produce 1 to 3 inches. Tomorrow night's system can produce another 1 to 3. So if you want to do the math, it's probably closer to a foot of snow after all 4 days. Okay.
Moving forward, what's your concern?
Well, and here's the one thing I forgot to say is that once the snow stops, tapers off, we are running with our full complement of snow plows. After that happens, we'll go into the residential streets, and I know that's a priority for a lot of people, including the mayor. So that's our intent, and we'll do that for the other 2 systems that'll come through.
All right.
So let me understand. So you're going to try to hit the side streets once you get a break? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean there is going to be a definite break. So this afternoon, there's still a chance of 1 to 3 inches between noon and 5. There's going to be parts of the city won't be seeing anything. So where we can, during that period, we'll go to the residential streets. Hopefully it won't flare up. If that happens, like we do every other system that does that, We'll go back to the main streets because that's our priority.
Main streets, for the obvious reason, police and fire, everything else, that's key. And again, John would, I don't want to, we were talking earlier, how it's falling on the south side or the southwest side or southeast side is different than how it's falling. I mean, everybody's getting snow. And so they're going to make sure they're going to respond accordingly and to use, when it starts to taper off, use those windows of opportunities to make sure all the work is done and done comprehensively. John knows, and it's somewhat not an inside joke, he has to report when he's going to hit the residential streets because that's a priority as well. We're going to get back to work for safety. I want to thank you guys ahead of time for the role you play in making sure the public's fully informed. Again, I want to repeat as it relates to the snow plows, there is Snowplow Tracker, and not only can you track where the truck is near you, but you can also track the direction it's going. There's multiple public pieces of information, like at CTA, but again, the probably biggest tool we have for making sure the public knows what they need to know or they have a challenge, there's 311, and in other situations, there's 911. Thank you.